Hi everyone, I am Tara, aka Spirit Mother, and I would like to welcome you to my channel on YouTube, Spirit Teachings Growing with Itself, on TikTok, 1974 Mindful, and I'm also live on my Facebook. If you're new to my channel, I always recommend, suggest, and really encourage you to read the description on my YouTube channel, Spirit Teachings Growing with Itself, to get a better understanding of what it is that I bring forward on my channel, my platform, what have you. As some of you are already aware, or if you're not new to my channel, I bring forward a lot of different things a lot of time about my own life experiences. I channel, I telepath, and empath, and many other things. Okay, and today I'm talking about channeling my ancestors. Okay, and what brought me to that is I was sitting on my couch and I was thinking back because I was looking for my book of chaos magic. Okay, and I was sitting back and I was thinking, and it sent me back to my journal, okay? Because back a bit ago, here, let's sitting back and I took my journal out and I was looking because it was something that I was looking into, and it brought me to what I'm about to share with you. Okay. Now, it all started with back in 2022, June 22, I had been channeling something. And I had been writing in my journal, kind of like doodling and what have you, and then all of a sudden I channeled something, and I have it right here, okay? And it says, "Back off, Bola, I ain't taking shit." So I know that what I was channeling was my sixth grade granddaddy, okay? It was strange because he had a religious seal beyond any of anyone around. And it directed me towards Googling what Bula is in biblical. So this is where it brought me. Oh, I must not have. Just bear with me 1 second. Oh, that's why I can't find it. The Blind Mountains. I'm having one of those, oh shit, dizzy moments. Ugh. Get in there, you fuckers. I hate the things when they don't stick in anymore. I need to get a tablet sometime because my thing won't stay in. Okay. This is what it brought me to. Bula in biblical times. Okay. And it brought me to that. It says the Bula, a clay seal impressed with an official seal stamp. My great grandfather, my sixth great granddaddy, he had a religious seal. Okay. Continues on to say, is more intricate and had been impressed twice by the same seal. The Bula depicts a man seated on some kind of throne or administrative chair, perhaps a king or governor, together with pillars, perhaps the rod symbols of the Babylon god Neba or Marduk. Now, okay? See, the thing is, everyone talks about the Curse of Oak Island because this is where this had taken, like, it's like this is where it had taken place. It's like I was writing, channeling. That's not true. Well, but you will. My channel's not for everyone. Puriste queremos tratar de Turi. And I can feel that right now. Like in my in the room in the live that doesn't like what I have to say. Well, I have many books, like especially a lot of Christians. A lot of Christians will not really like what I have to say because it's taboo. It's against their belief system. But like I said many other times, like you're worshiping Jesus, but the thing is, that's what Jesus was using. But you'll say, no, he wasn't. Yes, he was. Que la tucuria tu muse, right? And you go there. Gusto ko tayo, yung nagtapriyan, tucuria, po shalay. Puso, what do you. So now a lot of people maybe don't believe me, okay? But they're on the treasure hunt on Oak Island and they say about Templars and Masons and what have you. They're my ancestors. And I'm not ashamed or afraid to say, you got the good ones, you got the bad ones. And I mean, sometimes the good were the bad and the bad were the good. There's a lot of going back and forth. We're talking about Babylonian, okay? That's Marduk or Naboth. Isn't that the one that went against Yahweh? Yahweh actually, like, you are the way. Well, yes, you are the way. I know when there's ones in here that you really don't like the thing. Well, that's too bad. And I'm not saying for entertainment purposes only, like a lot of people on here say, because you're afraid that TikTok or it's going to be a taboo. Well, you're making it a taboo because it's that part of, well, why do you feel like you have to say that if you're doing the research and you're finding out this or you're figuring this out, why are you saying for entertainment purposes only? Does like your biblical text say for entertainment purposes only? It's a book of stories, people's so-called truths. That's the thing. People don't want to ask questions. Okay, like my great granddaddy. Like I know, like people say, "Oh, no, he didn't." Well, yeah, I have right in this book. His name is in this book. It says about the properties he owned. Right here. See, that's the thing. Like I know, like certain people in my family say, "Well, nobody wants to hear about that." Well, that's maybe you don't, but you don't speak for everybody else. I happen to want to know my ancestors' past so that I can figure out how to make the present, the perceived present better. Because in certain calendars, if you look at them, it doesn't. Like in certain calendars, you look at it, we're actually not in 2025. We're actually in 1728. And it was 1756, 1752, 53. Well, it was actually 49, 50, 51, 52, where the settlers come over to Canada and the United States because it was all one in the beginning. He owned quite a few pieces of property on this land. Here. Map says who got the property from him. But see, the thing is, when I looked into his deeds to the people that they said on got his property, no, he never sold anything to them. And I'll say it again, like, yep, Donald is a warlord. He's the chaos. But see, some people won't believe that, and they'll say, "Oh, you gotta like you're crazy, you're this, you're that." No, I'm not crazy. You're just still. Oh, that's not true. No, I seen it, but it's not true. And Donald Trump says Sleepy Joe. People don't like me mentioning Donald Trump's name. But see, when you start seeing a lot of who people are, was Donald Trump the chosen one to create chaos? Yes. But when you look into Hopi, you have the man in the red hat, but it also said that he brought chaos. Then there was a woman in a red dress. They said that he did it. So I just heard someone say, "What's your point?" That's my point. So my sixth great granddaddy, one of the and when they were doing the thing with regards to the nuclear brothers, I was chanting. But next time I go to on the Lunenburg tour, when they get to the site where the hanging is supposed to have taken place, I'm going to ask them, why do you not talk about the third brother? Because there was a third brother that was hung at the same time as them. They don't talk about that one. They just say about the two of them. See, that's the thing. Your history is all distorted. And you're fighting over this religion, that religion, which one's right, which one's wrong, and what have you. You're saying that the Jewish is wrong because they believe in one God, and Christianity is said to believe in three gods or more, and then others another God. And very touchy subject for some, especially if you're Muslim, Christian, Jewish. You know, is it this morning that Pope Francis died? Coincidence? You know, you open portals Christmas time. See, when you're channeling stuff like that, okay, and you don't go back and look up something to find, like, what the heck? Like, why did that come up? But finding out that, Marduk, do I believe that my sixth grade granddaddy was of significance? Yes, I do. And I believe that in many ways. And I strongly believe that with the Butler brothers, it's almost like something tells me that the granddaughter got away, and then my great granddad actually saved her. He found a way to get her to safety. Because in the book it says about a man. The way they referred to him. Because some, they liked my great granddaddy until they didn't do anything anymore. They stopped because he was extremely wealthy. No, it's about all the land that he owned, and it was stolen from him. He was murdered for it. You know, whoever holds the bones that they found on the cursed book on Oak Island, I know you can do DNA testing. And I know that the church that on the tour of Oak Island, or the tour that they take you on in Newland, or the church that they take you in, I know that's someone who's truly developing there because I've seen it happen. They've showed me, and there was more than one involved. Because the woman that I was talking to when I was in there, told her, my ancestors, she did not like that. She wanted me in that church. But it was my seventh great granddaddy that helped build it. c'est vrai que mudando, porque poderia nem German. My ancestors could speak German. I speak French, English, Swiss, you know. Sometimes people say, like, they're speaking Celtic, Portuguese. They're finding a lot of stuff on Oak Island, like the Portuguese structures like the Portuguese. You know, when people don't believe that our ancestors reincarnate through us and channel through us because their spirit lives on and they work through us to sort things out. Oh, yeah. And there's this like spirit to spirit, and that spirit, there's a spirit in here that, we're sure he said, when I took that up to my ex-husband, well, he got a little irritated, very short with me, because see, he doesn't want treatment, but I know who he is, versions of him. And I know he's always been the enemy of my ancestors. See, they have a part in this book. Yes, she has been doing her research because Spirit's been guiding me where I need to go. They have that rock, that stone that had symbols. And the symbols say we're supposed to have been decoded. 40 feet below 2 million pounds are buried. People not realize, I think I know what they're talking about. See, I tried contacting the people of Oak Island, but everywhere I went, if there was money to be had, they would not tell Rick and Marty. I had Rick and Marty. Because, the Curse of Oak Island series is profitable. Are they planting coins and stuff? Well, possibly. But are they really? Yes, they are. They're really looking for the treasure. You think of Aladdin's cave. What are you looking for in Aladdin's cave? The diamond in the rough, right? What would be the diamond in the rough? Cruel irony. The South Sea Company had an influential associate in this unsavory business, a church-backed society whose mission it was to promote the Protestant faith to the four corners of the earth, and of course, gather a host of souls along the way. Was also engaged. What was that one about that? See, my great grandma, my seventh grade, and my six. They liked oak trees. And each time they pruned it, they planted an oak tree. Kaya ano, no mucho Liana, mi querido Felicity. And it says, they whispered to her, you can't, they whispered to her, you can't withstand the storm. And she whispered back, I am the storm. Fíjate, Polita, que decía. See, and apparently you like to be heard too, because I just heard that. You know, I also know that through channeling, I've been writing a lot of decent signatures. Probably signatures of my ancestors. See, the thing is, everyone is channeling, but you're not realizing it. So by not realizing it, you're not going and you're not looking at anything. You know, if you did, you might sort of few things out, and the world wouldn't be in chaos, wouldn't be in control. Chaos. Go watch Once Upon a Time. You have the Wicked Witch and Hades. Hades wants the Wicked Witch to create chaos. So who do you think? See, some people, that's why they say we know who we voted in. We wanted to vote in. You voted in Hades. The four. Think of it this way: the four. Who the four? Uranus, Kronos, Hades, and Zeus. But some people may refer to them differently. You have the two brothers, which was Hades and Zeus. People think that Michael and Lucifer weren't brothers, but they actually were said brothers. Then you had Yahweh and Deva or Marduk. Marduk. People say, oh, well, that's just mythology. That's fine. That's your ancestors. This was the secrets that, the Vatican was keeping. Kesher records, what have you. They opened the tomb of St. Peter, and wasn't it St. Peter that, he said, it was said that he requested to be crucified upside down. So you know what they would have done on Cook Island after they murdered. They cut them up in pieces. So they found more than just that one bone that they said they found because John Smith went missing too. Was it? Give me one second. See, on both sides of the family, they have connections to Oak Island. And I actually messaged my I messaged somebody to see if I could get a hold of yeah, what is oh, okay. The wait for it. Family genealogy. Well, I'm just holy shit. I just heard him. Are you a lawyer? No, but I was a legal assistant. I got my paralegal. Um, I'm just looking for something. And I know it's here. Yeah, I had it all sorted out one day, but I know how to sort it out. Maybe on your side. Mhm. Mhm. To get the gene. It's weird because I just seen it the other day. See, the thing is, I know when things switch because when things switch, stuff goes missing. And that's the thing. There it is. Okay, so where was it? See, for the list of property owners on Oak Island to 1795, they don't even have my great granddaddy's name in there. They have it that other people own his grist mill, shipbuilding. John's father was Duncan Smith. Lincoln dies at some point between the sale of his property and 1788. Who was it that also Joseph? screen. There's nothing in here. See, people don't realize what actually happened. See, what you're observing right now, too, is, the French and British War all over again. You're witnessing all the wars happening at the same time because they're showing you everything. I see one guy on here, excuse me, confirmation, that's all that is. One guy on here, he said that the Europeans took and burnt everything down to erase history and, stuff like that. It wasn't the Europeans at all. It was the British. And that's the thing. The Vatican secrets are being unveiled. Everything is being unveiled. Because you have chaos coming at it. And chaos is stirring things up. See, do you know, like, has anyone heard of chaos magic? Okay. Chaos magic is like bringing the illusion to life. Okay. If you look, and I'm telling you, seriously, go back, look in your own genealogy, look at your ancestors, because you'll be able to understand what it is that you're observing in the world today. And that was like my sixth great granddaddy saying, Bulla, back off. We ain't taking your shit. My sixth great granddaddy, and soon your sixth great granddaddy, was here for you. To help you learn how to stand up for yourself because, I said he was a bitter old bastard. He might have been stingy sometimes too. But that was after he realized that, people were just using him and then he started setting boundaries. See, he couldn't read or write. So I have to ask Donald Trump, are you that great granddaddy? Because, you can't read or write. Did you get, like, as you reincarnated, did you get bitter because, hey, I know you were also, you were actually not my great granddaddy. Like, you were Donald Guinness. But see, if I say that on here, the ones from there will get irritated and pissed off. And I said, I have to say that Donald Trump, because they would travel in time, was Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, and Sean Combs P. Diddy. Because was it not supposed to be the three of them? Well, sorry, okay. Dolan McGuinness, Anthony Vaughn, and Samuel Ball were the three that supposed to have found this stuff. Do you know where they were digging? On my great granddaddy's property. And that's how my great granddaddy died, because they wanted his property. Samuel Ball and Donald McGuinness. Samuel Ball worked for Edward Cornwallis. And I have strong reason to believe that Edward Cornwallis was the one that scalped my seventh great granddad. Because in his reign of scalping in 56, there was one adult and 3 youth. And one of the first nights that I stayed here, before I moved in here, it was a night that I seen the ship over on top of the water tower. And it's been confirmed that it's an unidentified, because I took I gave it to somebody. It's not natural. And that night, I channeled what happened the night that my seventh great granddad was killed. My great grandma, she was speaking in a bunch of different languages because it was channeling through me. And she was frantic. And I could hear the kids crying hysterically. And she was saying, hide, they're coming. But see, I don't believe that, but you know. I asked my sister, do you remember the kids telling me that I was levitating off the bed? My sister told me that. In 99, when I used to read the board at first went through it, she said I was levitating. They said that I was levitating off the bed. They went in and I was floating in there. My mom, I had been telling me, my mom seen my eyes go completely white, and my sister seen my eyes go completely black. I can feel somebody about to cry right now. They had a prayer train going on for me that night. And for the longest time, I was afraid to use tarot cards because the church had me afraid of it. They just kept telling me, she keeps saying in the name of Jesus, in the name of Jesus. But see, the thing is, Jesus don't want us doing that. But certain religions or affiliations or whatever. Oh, you're wrong about that. No, I'm actually not wrong about that. You became dependent on someone else outside of yourself. You lost your own independence. God works through you. God heals through you. God heals you through you. There are people that can heal somebody. I had somebody call me, and I don't know how they got my number. I really don't know how they got my number. And they asked me if I could make their wife walk again. But they didn't want to hear my answer because they kept trying to tell me I was a fraud. And I never told him that I could make his wife walk. You know, Jesus didn't like make the person see again, like they show you. Jesus helped them to see again by seeing them, by showing them what was keeping them from seeing. Certain people. But you know, did you know that he didn't heal his disciples, his apostles? He just did random people because they didn't expect him to do it. But you know, you'll go back to your book and you'll say, well, no, this is what it says in here. Of Christ. You know, maybe Donald Trump is form of John. Because John was very eccentric in every meeting. And I told people a number of times, like when Donald Trump is talking and he's saying stuff, he's talking in riddles, and that's why it don't make sense. A riddler. You know, like the mother knows it's in the kid. How many of you knew that Gabriel went to John's mother and said that John would be born? See, they don't. It's a seal. Seal in the and I don't know if there's like if I have some kind of person in here that you know comments and stops you from viewing things or what have you because I don't can be nasty. And those are the ones that need healing. Because they preach about something that they don't understand. And do I understand? Yeah, and a lot of it comes out in different languages. Because that's your ancestors talking to you. Those forms of spirit talking to you. But what do I know? I just channel it. I didn't learn this stuff from you. I might have the books, but I don't fucking read. Do I know how to read? Yeah, I know how to read, but I don't really read them. Certain times, spirit will get me to go to certain spots. Read. See, I told my ex-husband, like, he's not for me. He's not my person because he believes in none of this. And he says, "Well, I don't have to." Well, yeah. In order, like, for things to be right, yeah, you have to have this. It's more of like understanding things the way that I do, because that's the part of working together. Not standing around telling me, "Oh, you're wrong." Well, I'm not fucking wrong. And when I am wrong, I will admit to it. Unlike many I know. Well, there's different people saying that Yeshua will come back and he has a weird, or maybe Yeshua was a weird to begin with. And maybe it's like Who knows? I'm getting that feeling in my body. Maybe Mary Magdalene was like a sister. I got that, and it was a release. Moab, Moab. His father was what? And what married his oldest daughter. Some people think that they didn't have children. I'm right, they did. And Mary Magdalene wasn't a prostitute. Mary Magdalene was raped. But when she was raped, she was never believed. Or men would say it was her fault. I feel this stuff through myself because we experience it ourselves, and we don't realize that, there's something we're supposed to see from it, something we're supposed to do differently. Because the guy that my ex-husband was bringing here for years, for almost 10 years, from 2016 to 2024, 8 years, held on to that. And then spirit forced it out of me. And not in a pleasant way. And then the way he reacted was a part of the darkness, trying to make me feel like I was the dirty one. He even called me a dirty whore. There are certain people that I'm still working through my shit because, forgiveness isn't as easy as people would say. Well, you just forgive them, forgive them. You have to go through that darkness. You have to go through that memory. You have to go through that pain in order to let it go. No matter how many times you have to go through it, Spirit's going to put you through that memory until you're honest with yourself. So, a lot of my videos, like, oh yeah, I told my story, and I told the things that I've done because that was my growing process. It was to bring it forward to say, hey, you're not alone in this. We're all here to work and help one another, but we have a system that's been integrated to keep us from helping one another. And that's the thing. Chaos keeps you divided and fighting with one another. So chaos can almost steal the glory. So when you watch things with Trump, just be careful because somebody posted a thing about something to do with uh, Donald Trump for threatening another country or what have you. Okay, I'm not on him, so it's not like I'm taking sides. I'm just saying that it was an AI generated, but it's being spread around TikTok. It wasn't his voice. It wasn't. It wasn't like his love, but it wasn't in tune with it, and it was digitized around him. You can tell the difference. There's been stuff of Elon Musk and Mark Carney and Pierre or what have you. There's been different stuff like that. I observe it, and that's the thing. Like people just they jump on it just like that, and that's what creates chaos. See, I heard the name Baron. Baron Trump and his friends, they know how to work the internet. Maybe Baron despises his own father because with Melania, you can see the disdain. Holy shit. Was it an Easter thing? Well, even at the inauguration, when they were in the church, Melania was disgusted with the church, and she was staying for Donald Trump, and maybe he's a lot, and he had a baby with his oldest daughter. Why doesn't Veronica and Melania like each other? Seriously. I channel this stuff from my ancestors, from spirit. And it's okay. Like if you don't believe me on this, because it's a part of maybe I don't believe you on what you read in the biblical text. Let's just say that's gospel. But you'll say the stuff that I bring forward is demonic. Psychics are demonic and what have you, but you know, you have your prophets that like your prophesizers and what have you, you believe them, right? You look in the book of Revelations, you read that, right? Is that not somebody foreseeing? That's like an oracle foreseeing the future, the perceived future. Because what is the prophecy to prophesize? You prophesize your own future. You choose whether or not you're going, but you see it because Spirit shows you it. It's your choice of how you get there or when you get there. And I can feel that because, like I said, there's certain religions that, you don't agree with me, and that's fine. And I'm not going to sit here and argue with you because I see that all over TikTok. Muslims asking Christians why they're not Muslim. And Christians asking Muslims why they're not Christian. And they're going up against Jewish people and Muslim and everything like that. And, the Quran, the Torah, and the Bible, and the Ethiopian, the Orthodox, all this stuff. If you actually took the time, and there's so many of them that you can't. It's hard to take the time. So when you actually take it and you look at it and you put the pieces of it together, right? What you have is the timelines, and it's all mixed in together. So that's why it's all like wonky. That's what keeps you stirred. Because it was all the fighting in the beginning, as it said, right? It's all scattered. You have it in, the Old Testament, the New Testament. You're fighting from the old to the new, and you know it's been going on through time. And like you have a piece, and then it's like they rewind you back, and that's what you're experiencing now. That's why you're seeing Roman times. You're seeing Viking times. You're seeing like you're seeing all the wars, all the famines, all the diseases, everything happening now, and we're remembering and we're pulling it back in to our remembrance. That's what remembrance. We remember the people we lost, and we keep reliving it over and over and over again. And now, and like I know that my sixth grade granddaddy, when he was saying, "Back off, Bula, we're not taking your shit," that was standing up for the people. Is there a curse on the fuck? There's a curse on the land itself, on the earth itself. And that's why you're seeing chaos. Because the curses are being broken, and whether you believe in a curse or not. Even people that don't believe in curses, they'll say, "Oh, it's like there's a curse on us." Well, if you don't believe in curses, why are you saying it's like there's a curse on us? Seriously. Who actually cursed you? Who did you hurt? Because you felt like somebody else should die for what you do. He was trying to teach you how to free yourself, but instead people killed him or perceived to kill him. Because some people believe he died, and other people believe that he didn't. Some people believe he was resurrected. Cyrus, Krishna, Jesus, all the same way, but your religions won't tell you that. That's why some people, they don't believe with regards to Jesus. Because they came from parallel universes. Alice in Wonderland, Through the Looking Glass. There's different, parallel worlds, different parallel universes. You just can't see them there because it's illusion. Because I seen in a vision that there's many Earth planets as far as the eye can see. There's many suns. You're just not seeing. And is the sun really out there, or is it actually in the Earth and it's a reflection? Some people won't believe that. You get the core of the Earth. Doesn't the core of the Earth react the same way as the sun? See? My sister's watching. She's probably laughing at this, but if you think me being attacked is funny, you must be the one attacked. Right there, I got to scream. I can feel your stuff. See, the thing is, there's four of them. Four men against one woman. It's pretty sad. It's feminine. Gender neutral, because you've experienced in different forms of life, you experienced being in the body of a female and in the body of a man. When you see beyond the veil, like I know this was happening when I was a child, and I was told that, oh, you're not seeing anything, you just see things. There's nobody there. But there was somebody there. And he was a grumpy old bastard. His cause is fatherless. Or maybe, I said it, that you might want to look into Donald Trump's actual birthplace, because I don't believe for a minute that he was born in America. I don't believe for a minute his parents were his parents. You all said about Obama. Why don't you look into Donald Trump? They say about the Antichrist came from somewhere, right? Is he playing two sides of the coin? Playing Christian. Actuality, he took a oath of another religion. I believe I was told by a Freemason that he took the Islamic oath. See, the only reason why he's getting away with this stuff is because, people are allowing it to happen. I was watching one guy, and he was saying about the Senate. They don't say anything because Trump will retaliate on them. What are you afraid of? Right? Is he holding something over your head? don't preach to other people to repent and confess if you're not going to do it yourself. I would be curious to know what your question is. Why do you want me to read you the code? What are you asking? So I keep it. It's a tool, but the mental health use as it did me. So I asked you, what is it that you want to know? And why do you want, why the question that you want me to, that you want me to read a card for, if you're still there. Because like, if it's about boyfriend or girlfriend or something like that, I have to ask, like, if you're asking how you're going to get back with someone, or what have you, and if they're, like, if it's, are you going to get back with somebody? I have to ask, why did you break up? I haven't read cards in a while, and I mainly do it at home, like if I'm talking to somebody like one on one, because I find that stuff it's more private. Because if you're doing cards with a bunch of other people, their feelings or thoughts or what have you, or questions could actually interfere with the answers you're seeking. Because yes, there's a lot of spirits that want to come in and get messages to people. There are parts of your ancestors if something didn't like that, and it's, go eat the emotionally today, so like there's so many, I can feel people screaming. It's like you feel like you're going totally batshit crazy because you want to express what you're experiencing, but you're afraid of how people react or will talk to you about it. Why are you worried about what they think if you know what you see or what you've experienced? They're the ones still sleeping land. Keep speaking the truth no matter how crazy you sound. Parallel universe, just wait. So look at somebody and they look you turn around and you look back at them and it's just like there's something off with them. Well, that's because you just switched. You just move. You're constantly moving. That's why you look at yourself and you look and one day you look one way and then like you go in the same day and you look, where did that come from? You're seeing different versions of yourself. You're seeing different versions of people. As crazy as that may sound, I watch it happen before me. I watch it happen before my face. It's like happens right in front of me. And it's just like, okay, yeah, I know what I'm, I know what I'm experiencing. a lot of people don't understand that, but that's what the Spirit is trying to tell us all. That's what, Christ was trying to bring forward and other people. You say about Moses, didn't he use a staff? What do you say? I have no word too. Quisiera que quisiera toda. I had one woman mock me because I said about that I need energy. But she was saying, like, this is how things work and stuff like that. But she didn't believe in really moving energy. See, the thing is, we're all moving, everyone is actually moving energy. You're just not aware of it. People meditate and they pray to move storms away, but others won't believe that. Well, that's just a fluke. Or are you using your inner aura, your inner vibration, your inner frequency, your inner knowing what you are capable of? I just heard somebody say, do you use magic? I don't use my stuff for personal. That's why it seems like I'm not manifesting anything. I get irritated, like it's like, hey, the ones that are supposed to be helping you to get work or something like that, they don't do their job. But that's something we're learning because it's that part of having faith and knowing that when it's time for something to be there, it will be there. But certain beliefs will say that's a bunch of bullshit. No more bullshit than maybe you're so it's that part, I'm not gonna mock your beliefs, but you have no problem mocking mine, right? I see everything. I see the different forms of religion. Do I know all the different names of the religion? No, because it's like, holy shit, man. Look at all the hieroglyphics and the different beings that actually came to Earth to mankind. They looked at them like they were gods because it was something beyond their own comprehension. And then the ones that knew the truth demonized. If you look at, and I just channeled it this morning, Adam and Eve, the Garden of Eden. Where was the Garden of Eden, really? Where was the Garden of Eden? Because people think it's on Earth, on the surface. The Garden of Eden is and they climb the tree, ate from the tree of knowledge. They come up out of inner Earth to the surface. Seem like above. That was what would be perceived to be evil. basically everybody was aware, but the true garden was in earth, and that's where the true sun is. You see these poor like people, portals, what have you. You know, when I was younger, I remember having dreams. It was like dreams of inner earth, and everything was lush and like freaking apples that fucking freaking big. Like holy shit, man. You know, how did Cleopatra die? Cleopatra died from snakes, right? Surrounded by snakes. Well, I had visions that I would be on my bed and all these snakes would be popping up on the side of my bed all around me. One night I went to sleep and it was my ex-husband, well, there was my husband at the time on one side of it and my son on the other side. And we were all like going to sleep. And I was in a dream and I was in Egyptian clothing and everything around me was Egyptian. And people were pulling me back from getting to my son and ex-husband, or my husband at the time. They were pulling me back, and then I woke up. They were both one laying on each arm. But it was like being in a court. I even had a dream, vision, and it felt real, like a shark was going to attack me. I had visions where it was one massive friggin' ice storm. I mean, the ice was like that friggin' big, and it was coming. The house was shaking and everything like that, and it was just like it was like friggin' it was like a freight train, and the house was shaking. We were all over to one wall, and I heard somebody tell me, "Tara, get over here." I even had a vision where a bunch of people were walking over. It's like a roadway, or not a bridge, but a roadway. And all of a sudden, it was like water just come rushing in and just whoosh, swept everybody out. Beach, and it was like this road and water on each side. And when I start going over it, I start to panic. And I had never been there before. And one vision where I was in a, it was like I was in an apartment building, and I went to go on the elevator, and then all of a sudden, sewage just started backing up, and it was like about it come to well about here on me. It just rushed in, and one here a couple of weeks ago, I was at my sister's place, and I was sitting there, and all of a sudden, it felt like my foot got wet. So I told her, like, is your plumbing bad? Because the sound that was coming from next door, something's fucking going on. See, the thing is, my great niece, and they say, it's a coincidence, but it wasn't a coincidence. My great niece was actually telling my sister basically that There was going to be a flood in her basement because she was telling them to look the water. And that, I believe it was that same day, they went away and they come back and the basement was flooded. So when your children tell you things like that, or your grandchildren, or what have you, those are things you should actually pay attention to because they're seeing something on a different level than you can see. They're seeing something before it happens. But people will say that psychics aren't real. It's like you're freaking right, psychics. Si volevo due sai? Our ancestors knew this. Were you just told that it was Judas that double crossed Jesus? Or was it really Peter? Maybe Peter was telling the truth by putting himself on a cross, having himself on a cross upside down. You know, we're on Easter Monday right now. And you know, when I seen the light, actually I didn't see the light twice right between the person. It was actually right around, it was Easter of 2020. It was super Good Friday. I was in my bed and my body was just violent, storming out. The winds were gusting and everything. And then later on, I come down and I got out and came out. I was looking out the window and the sun started coming out and stuff like that. So I started moving and I stared right into the sun. And it wasn't an illusion. It wasn't a psychotic episode. I literally watched from the center of the sun. It started to spiral. Like if you look on those shows where, like, you know, the doors are opening in your spacecraft and it starts spiraling, and then it was like the sun was gone and the great blue sky, so it was like through the sun. Just to put it there, seriously. It's okay if you don't believe me. Most people can't comprehend something like that. And then that was Good Friday. And that night I felt like wolves or something was chewing up my private parts. And it was just a constant, and my body was like that, jerking and everything like that. Saturday wasn't so bad. And Sunday came, I mean, I was through the day, I was like just seeing images. And then on Sunday, I was out laying on the deck and I was looking up at the sun. I was staring at the sun. And I just stared right in it. And then all of a sudden, the sun turned to a straight line. And then it separated. It was a light slice here and a black slice here. And then I felt an entity come in. And then it just rose up, walked around looking like this, looking at the farmland in disgust. Then walked back, laid me in the exact same spot that I had been laying in. I was aware of this happening. And then all of a sudden I could feel it leave. And then all of a sudden, the dark and light lines come together and it formed it out into the sea. Others won't believe this. Or, TikTok will try to monitor this. Because maybe they don't want to share it out there, but it's out there. Because I know there's more than one. I know there's more than one parallel world. I know there's more than one universe. And before I died, I was laying in the bed next to my ex-husband. He had a black shirt on. And all of a sudden, it was like I was seeing fireworks. And then cartoon characters, colorful cartoon characters, just dancing around on his shirt and looking into the universe, seeing this. And then all of a sudden, the word SOS in multicolored showed up. SOS, and I said, oh yeah, SOS. Because I needed help. I was dying. Just like your earth has been dying. That Easter, I went through hell. I fought with the demons. I fought for my soul. And when you understand that part of it, then you will realize that you too experience things, but you dismiss them because you feel that a systematic community will label it. When it's actually a spiritual thing. I know from experience. I lived it more than once. So my ancestors in spirit, they all come through. It was my mom and some man who saved me the last time. And they were in spirit. Because after I was fighting for my life, I overdosed because I thought that was the only way to stop it. But it just angered spirits. And my mom and this man, I don't know who he is. They were working together. When I took the pills, they were like 10 milligrams of hydromorphone. That was just one part of it. I took them. And I could hear my mom and this man saying, no, Tara, don't do it. Like, Tara, just don't do it. Please don't do it, Tara. And I took the pill bottle And I went like that. And I said, if I'm meant to be saved, I will be saved. But like that, and the body's up. I could feel myself slipping away. And I could feel them saying, "No, Taylor, what did you do? Come on, honey, you gotta get up, Doris. Come on. You gotta get up. Come on, you gotta get up." And then it was like they were shaking me. "Come on, Tara, get up, honey, get up. You gotta get up." And then all of a sudden, it was like somebody took me by the arm and flopped me up. Well, first they propped my legs on the floor or to the off the side of the bed, and then hauled me up, one on each side. They took me outside of my body was something like that. I was not only was I overdosing, but I was having a stroke at the same time. My help was spirit. And I will never stop telling the story so that people understand that you're experiencing something that the human mind cannot comprehend because it's too much in a dogma that tells you that it's this way, that it's a psychosis when it's actually not a psychosis, it's a spiritual experience. And when it goes on understood, that's when it gets to the point where you actually, some go insane. Some become very destructive and they go out and they cause harm. That's what you're witnessing right now. You're witnessing what they call it a spiritual psychosis, but it's a spiritual experience. You're not protecting yourself. Once you understand what it is that you're witnessing, that you're experiencing, that's when you learn how to protect yourself from what I call the parts of the jumpers, because you're here to help them heal, not exploit them. People will go to these things and paranormal and what have you, and these haunted houses and stuff like that. When, you're not supposed to be doing that. You're not supposed to be exploiting. You're supposed to be helping them heal and move on. And maybe that's why, when I tell my story and I say, I want to help you guys with this stuff, nobody wants to take me on because, if I help the spirits heal, well, fuck, man, there goes your money, right? And then you wonder why the spirits are so fucking pissed off. In some ways, they're not the problem, you are for exploiting for profit and personal gain. See, your body is too important. Okay? Your body is the tuning fork. So when your body starts like vibrating or buzzing weird, and it's very uncomfortable. That's because you're experiencing it. Dice que la pituitaria mucus, and that's what I say, when my sister says I look like a raging lunatic. Good. Should I be embarrassed? Fuck no, if you're embarrassed, that's your problem, not mine. My, should I be humiliated? Well, don't they say humility? You got to reach humility in order to get to the next step of, connecting with your inner Christ. He's, the worst is yet to come. It's like Donald Trump fucking grow up. You should like he said, look at that. My seventh grade granddaddy, fuck, he was the one that got scalped during the Cornwallis stuff. But he didn't die, and it says in there, it says about the like one of them like was in the stuff. One of them didn't die. Well, that was him. He didn't die. They drug him off to George's Island, and not in the States either. They drug him off to George's Island and locked him up and chained him to in a prison cell. And then they skinned him and left him for dead. Mind you, I'm pretty sure he attacked a few people, a few of the guards on there, and probably ate the face right off them. Because I know he channeled through somebody and said about eating the face off someone. And then I went to a museum in not far, like towards Lunenburg area, and I walked in there. My ex-husband was walking with me, and he would walk up the stuff that he wanted me to see because he would stand there like this at it. Sorry. And then I'd walk, and then it was like I could guide it to look. And when I looked, did you ever see the mask that they had on Hannibal Lecter? They had one of those in this museum. And it was like, whoa, shit. And that's what guided me to go to George's Island to the prison. People they'll take people on tours there at night and do their stuff and explain. I watched one guy and he was fucking like he was taunting the spirits. Seriously? Skulle jag på tre för det var så nej. Your ancestors are telling you their story, but you're not getting it. So why even talk about something that you know fuck all about really? Oh shit, man. Did I do research? And I did that all in less than 3 months. And that's including going around to different museums, different pieces of property. I went to Graves Island and I was walking down the path, like just not far up the path. You come to this, it's like a hill. And up at the top of the hill, there's a well. And then there's like two or three gravestones. And I went up there. And I don't rely when I went up there, I was walking and I was getting closer. And then I was like, oh my God, get me off, get me off, holy shit, get me off. Touch me, like I was being like they were pulling, it was like, save us. Kept going up further. And I was walking along the trail and come like bunch of trees and going over. And I was walking, and all of a sudden it was like I walked into a hanging body. Oh my God, breathe. It was like two or three of them, and then found out that those were the people that were the graves. It's like I don't need mushrooms to do that. It's like I went into a boutique and I was looking around, I was speaking in languages and speaking this room, and I knew she had some a lot of darkness to it. She could see it and I could feel it, but I also understand. And there wasn't really anything like there was something that I wanted, but I didn't have the money, and I was seeing if she had anything cheap, like cheaper. And she told me that she had a room upstairs where it had more clothing. She said I could go upstairs and have a look. She told me that I could go upstairs and just the room to the right. So I get going upstairs. It was like us going upstairs, and then all of a sudden I got going a little further. Oh shit! Keep going, Tara. Oh shit! Breathe. Oh, okay. And then I turned and I was like, oh my God, just breathing and and I was looking at this room and all I had was old fashioned clothes. And I was getting in the room and I started going like right now and getting light at it and I was going like this. And I could feel the room lighting up, like I could feel it becoming lighter. And I went back downstairs and I told her like, um, you got some you got some spirits in out there. But she knew. Maybe she was testing to see if I was for real when I was telling her stuff. Because she knew maybe that was what was keeping her from business. I went to Keith's brewery and I went in the building and it was like, okay, not so much. But when I got in like a little further in the building before I went through the doors, there was an art thing, an art gallery type thing. And I went in there and I started dancing and just speaking. And it was just like constant. And then the guy there, you know what it is? Like, yeah, like, holy shit, man, you got a lot of chaos going on in here. Like, yeah, that's his opinions there. Because he has chaos within himself. So he's creating chaos, and that whole art gallery is chaos. And I could feel all the energy. And he says like, I'm the first one that he's seen come in and really understand and experience what he witnessed. He wanted to give me a hug, but Spirit said no, let go. But I went through every room and it was like, I was doing this. Like, what is he doing? What is he doing? And there's that, and Spirit keeps telling me, Tara, breathe, breathe. I am. And that's what it's like. It's almost like a panic because you're all coming in at the same time. It's like an attack, but it's a save me, help me, help me. Una doença que nós amamos, e tudo por aqui, a nossa equipe por aqui, lá que when you go in somewhere and all of a sudden you feel like your anxiety or panic, that's what you're experiencing. And you're experiencing other people's energy because you're so much like, okay, okay, think of what they said with COVID, okay? They said 6 feet apart, right? Because people spin it. Some are dark blue, some are light, some are colored, what have you. So it's like when you have bumper cars, the energies are constantly bumping into each other. It's like also like a pinball. That's why I tell people, like, when you get that overwhelming sensation, take your hands and do that. Because what you're going to do is you're going to push those energies back, those spirits back some, and saying, hey, this is what it looks like. Only they have it like this, right? This is what it is. Smooth your corners. Yeah, it's that part of acknowledging your shadows, acknowledging the spirits, because they're tired of being exploited. They're tired of the pain, and that's what they're expressing. Like there's one houses that people go in and because somebody murdered someone. Well, what spirit was around there? What went on there to create that energy to bring about that frenzy? It was actually, it's like a jumper. That's why it said they know not what they say or do, because you're experiencing jumpers, you're experiencing different spirits. We're all mediums. Some are in tune with it, and others aren't. And there's so many in the room that don't like what I'm saying. Somebody just said it's too fucked up to understand. Well, actually, it's we make it more complicated than what it is because we allow the dogma to get into our minds and tell us otherwise. Yeah, can everybody else know what is that? So when I get expressive, or like if I just get loud and pissed off, that's forms of spirit that's really freaking irritated with the abuse, not only in the physical world, but the abuse that the physical world sustains onto the spiritual world. Because you think it's there for you to make profit and money. Yeah, the beast inside, yeah. The beast inside, and holy dragon's nasty. See, the dragon in the beginning wasn't. Beautiful. And it led itself into darkness as it became corrupt itself. And it thinks it's beyond repair because it's living with its own guilt. And the only way that it can survive from its own guilt is if it continues to do what it's doing. So it believes or thinks. Some things happen from misunderstanding. Some things happen from a jealousy. A lot of parents get jealous of their own children. They may not admit to it. Some parents want to teach their children to do certain because it was something that they wanted to do as a child. So they want to live vicariously through the child. That's where you get the spirits angry. Because it's not what they're meant, it's not what they're here and meant to be doing. Our ancestors are trying to tell us that our children are extremely intelligent, and we are the ones that are making them the way they are. You can't sit a child still and expect them not to get angry or bored. Children learn more when they're moving because their brains are going a lot faster than yours. That's why they ask so many questions, and then people will say, "Oh, will you stop asking questions?" Well, how else are they supposed to fucking learn if they're not asking questions? What? Go to school and learn a fucking dogma bullshit that doesn't even come close to what people need in order to survive? My dad even said the same thing. My dad and I, we agree on a lot of things. But sometimes we don't get it across the way we need to. And it becomes a misunderstanding. Because the older ones are usually set in their ways. And something new, they figure something new, well, nothing's going to change. Well, no, nothing's going to change if you don't allow it to change. If you keep suppressing change, then no. But you can't force other people to stay stagnant because you're afraid of change or to move forward. This is the spirit change. So if you're resonating with this or you're experiencing anything from it, then I guess you're spirits that are connecting with the spirits. If you're creating, like I've had dreams of people around me in my surrounding areas, and it always involved my ex-husband. So I know my ex-husband is my karma. And what if we didn't be a dragon? Yeah. I got a skin picking. Yeah, you're natural. Can I put my hands on I am NPA? I'm sure they can see that. Holy snap, it arseholes, man. I'm like, my energy is just so high. It's like I'm hot. I'm bursting. I know the sun is shining in on me, but it's not that it's sun. It's just because I feel like I'm air. That's what when you meditate, I can meditate on the go. Okay, and people not even know that I'm meditating. But when you learn how to meditate, you just feel like you're air, weightless. You go back to the form of spirit. Feel like you're spirit. Gasimo ayana, anakuta parisiketa eshu kukusumaya, nirgatade tu kisara payesurushkam, nirgatade tu. See, I know there are people that would like for me to suppress myself because they say, oh, you embarrass me. Well, no, you embarrass yourself. See, to make somebody feel like they should be embarrassed because they're able to be authentic, they're able and allow themselves their higher self or to be that inner child. Because when I speak in this language and I'm out somewhere sick, it's like I it's like I'm a little kid. I get excited because when I get excited, it's because the people that are around, I feel like it's okay. I'm comfortable. It's okay to be myself because they're not going to judge me for it. And I don't care if you're judging me for it. That's your problem. Maybe you want to be authentic and you just don't have the balls to be because you're too afraid of what other people will say because you're a little different. We're all misfits who choose to be fucking cookie cutter. Say that again. I feel that. It's like, I'm here. Like I look at stuff. It's like, holy crap, man, that's foolish. I did a video the other day with regards to something Donald Trump had said, and people were saying about like he's insane and stuff like that. Well, he's talking in riddles, and I told you, so I must have been. Oh my Jesus! I, oh crap! And I did it just just the other day. I think what he was doing is he was trying to tell you that the Pope was going to die. Ugh. Ugh. Shit. Ugh. It was, I think, my live video of Stand Up for Yourself or Truth Be Told, one of those two. Well, just, everyone, give me 1 minute. This spirit wants me to see if I can get, oh shit. I don't want to do it, but I'm wait. I'm just looking for the date of it. Yeah, man. It was 3 or 4 days ago. So what was 3 or 4 days ago? April 17th. So it was April 16th or 17th. And what's today? Ah! So it was like the day before Good Friday. And we got it. Yep. Okay. The arms, influence, power means of support or conquest. Okay. So the influence, the Pope was an influence. He had the power, means of support, and a conquest. And then it said, when it said Dodgers bullpen, Patriots, I looked up Patriots, it came up priest, chaplain, Roman Catholic chapel, armed services is what I ended up writing there. And then the water on the head, the Israelites, Ibn Days, and then game 5, Galatians chapter 5. Let's see, never didn't look this up before. Okay, they want me to read chapter 5 to 5. The Lamb opens the scroll. Then I saw a scroll. In the right hand of the one who was sitting on the throne, there was writing on the inside and the outside of the scroll, and it was sealed with 7 seals, 7 chakras. 7 spirits, 7 stars, 7 trumpets, 7 bowls, 7 deacons. How many deacons were at the Pope's funeral? And I saw a strong angel who stood with a loud voice, who is worthy to break the seals of this scroll and open it. But no one in heaven on earth or under the earth was able to open the scroll and read it. Then I began to weep bitterly, because no one was found worthy to open the scroll and read it. One of the 24 elders said to me, "Stop weeping. Look, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the heir of David's throne, has won the victory. He is worthy to open the scroll and its 7 seals." Then I saw a lamb that looked as if it had been slaughtered. but was now standing between the throne and the four living beings, and among 24 elders. He had 7 horns and 7 eyes, which represented the sevenfold Spirit of God that is sent out into every part of the earth. He stepped forward and took the scroll from the right hand of the one sitting on the throne. And when he took the scroll before the Lamb, each one had a harp, and they held gold people, and they sang a new song with these words: 24 strands of DNA. Ora eu queria depois de episcole serim depois great. Okay, so see, had I not gone through what I've been going through, I'd be suspect, uh, skeptical, the same as an atheist is, or other religions with regards to different things. So now I know that on the 17th, I was actually what I actually got and channeled to the people on my video was that the Pope was going to die. And on the 17th, don't Donald Trump say something about the 17th? So it's like the talking in riddles. It's like people who did a lot of Einstein or somebody said about doing a lot of riddles. The dark one talks in riddles. In order to understand the dark one, you have to think like the dark one and see the riddles. So he's actually telling you different things, but he's doing it in riddles. And he's causing chaos and havoc along the way. See, I like. I'm not defending women's life art because there's the justice part of it. It's not part of kind of almost like putting yourself in what he would have gone through, seeing what he would have gone through. It's like, did Donald Trump ever live with his grandmother? He was abused. He became an abuser. And there's things where Ivana will get out and say, "Oh, our marriage was great, and we were friends after the divorce and stuff like that." But she said he was raped, and he was not. He was not. At times, he was not himself. The abuse he sustained created what people perceive to be the monster today. It became his program. Should he be president doing what he did? No, but he's working locally. still going to be accountable for the things he did. But I do thank him for teaching us how to like stand up for ourselves because he's pissed us off so bad. Say it like a role. See, the spirits know every version he was. He's figured that he's human over time travel. See, he can't run. See, some people you see his good stuff, and they don't want to look at the thing. Some see all the bad stuff, and they don't see good parts because we say they're narcissists or they're psychopaths. Like some people, some babies come into the world possessed, already with a jumper because it was already there to jump in. But like I said, I believe that Donald Trump was not a born U.S. citizen. He has anger, he has resentment, and he blames everyone. And that picture that people are saying about Melania, like right up almost as if she's going to kiss Justin Trudeau, that didn't help any. I will say that Melania has parts in it too, but she's trying to find her way. Maybe we're all getting misguided. Maybe we like certain things, but you have an awful lot of disdain for him. See, I've seen a thing where Melania said that they signed a prenuptial agreement, but she figured out by having the child, it was her way to be able to have somebody else. So when did he put a stick of trust? Because he said, like, the woman should get half of what any man gets. Perhaps. Like, don't, you didn't earn your money fair and square. You cheated, you schemed, and you lied for it, and you stole it. And on top of that, you actually cheated on him. 8 months after you married her. And maybe she wanted to have a baby. She didn't want one. Maybe you didn't have sex after the baby. But, you know, was said that supposedly she tricked you. Then you see videos of her with Putin, the laugh of the flirting and carrying on. It's like right now I'm so connected that it's a part of has anybody really, like people would say, well, he died anyways, actually sat down and talked to him as like a heart, because he can break. Just some people look at other people as being a lost cause. Maybe people look at you the same way. And that's not to make you feel down on yourself. It's to say, sit with that. And to Donald Trump's niece, I know what happened. When I said the word uncle. So if you think I don't know, I because I let that moment and seen them. I see somebody else, and the way they were talking, so there's channeling that, not like not such great things about children and women. It was very dark, almost demonic, and scary at the same time. So while that was going on, I started speaking in spirit language. Sulekema. So it's like before you tell people that, that's horseshit and bullshit and everything like that, actually sit with your own experiences and don't say you never had none because you fucking well did. You just pushed it backwards and tried to deny it because you didn't want to be labeled as psychotic or schizophrenic. Don't tell me you don't believe in stuff when you see a dime and you say, "Oh, Ruth, that's so and so leaving it for you." See, it's almost like I could sit for and just talk with people. And right now on this, no, I don't want to be like answering any questions at the moment because it's hard enough. I experienced you through this, so maybe I'm answering your question as I'm talking. And as I just sit here and I go in here like this morning, was feeling the shift in the universe right now. And this human resonance is a little wonky, really. And I was having a bit of like, holy shit, man, breathe. And then they're like, go inward, and breathe inward. Fuck, man, shit. Talk about an acid trip and not be on acid in some ways. I'm not just like, it's like, wow, right there, as I said that, I just got a release and I was like, oh, yeah. Able to be in your body and in control of your body at the time when you're experiencing this. It's like when you have an anxiety attack, we start panicking instead of going inward and surrendering to it and talking your way through it and asking yourself, why am I, what's going on, where am I experiencing this, what just happened, and everything like that. Finding out where that anxiety came from because a lot of the time it's not even on. I get pissed off at my ex-husband because he said, "You're giving me anxiety." It's like, dude, go fuck off because how many times do you give me anxiety? Oh, wait, all the day. And I experience his anxiety. I wake up in the middle of the night or like in the wee hours of the morning. I have anxiety. I go upstairs and he's experiencing anxiety, so I'm experiencing his anxiety because I have no reason to be having anxiety. I'm waking up with anxiety. So it's him having anxiety while he's awake, and it's waking me up. See, there are people who say, well, I don't dream. You're fucking right, you dream. You just don't remember it because you're actually astral traveling. You're experiencing things that way. That's why when you like feel like you wake up and you're exhausted, or you wake up and you remember your dream too. That's one time that they were trying to climb in a garbage bag. They said it was a garbage bag, and I was like, I started interpreting the dream, and they said about these people being around, and I got the thought that what it was signifying is that they were in a body bag, but they were still alive, so they were trying to get out of the body bag. It's like being buried alive. So you wake up exhausted. It's because, and sometimes you wake up like really freaking confused. Like my dad told me he experienced that, but I had experienced it a while ago where I was laying in my bed, I was sleeping, and all of a sudden I woke up. I woke up quickly, but I was confused. I'm like this. Okay, what's going on? It's like, oh shit, what's happening? I felt all discombobulated. And I thought, oh my God, I gotta get in the shower. What the hell's happening here? And I got in the shower and it's like, because my soul spirit actually had to catch up because I woke up before it got back in, fully back in. And that's where confusion sets in. And I can feel that in my body right now. Like others experience that. Sometimes they'll say it's sleep paralysis that you're experiencing because you can't you know you're there but you can't move it. I don't call it sleep paralysis. It's because when you're just hovering above yourself, actually feel like a weight because you're holding yourself back, you're holding yourself down, and you got to figure out why you're holding yourself down. Why are you keeping yourself and not allowing yourself to release? Like that heavy weight. How you break it is by going through your body and asking you what you're holding on to that you don't want to look at. Then you have to look at it as many times as it takes. Because every time it's going to show you something different. It's like a form of, well, it's not a form of PTSD. It is PTSD. Spirit showing you that you have to work through it. So in order to get work through it, you have to find somebody that can bring that trigger up and help you go through it so you can see it till the finish and talk your way through it. Isso era pequeno, isso era pequeno. Era para tu prever. It is actually really mixing. As you said, how are you missing the fingers? I'm like, dude, yeah. It's like just your mind becomes like it's not that you're not intelligent, it's that you have control of your mind matter and you're like just it's like I see things through the mind and the heart both. And I know when people are trying to throw mind attacks at me because it makes my head feel uneasy right here. So it's like, like when that happens, it's like you feel it. So what you do is you just kind of, and then just repel it out, think it outward. It's like, back off, Bula. It's like your voice is the sword of Aaron. Give that to peace for. That's why, like, if somebody in England yells in English or anything, you don't really get a lot of reaction, right? Okay? It just more irritates you. Okay. And see, when I get assertive, sometimes it may seem like it's really, okay, but it's energy out. And when I speak in the languages in an assertive way, it has more of a punch. So when I do it, and like I just move, it makes me feel good, or even like resonate with it. I had this one woman tell me when I started speaking, she said she was getting tingles in the head. It's like, give up these things. Some just say, you know, it's spirit. Because when you perceive to be gibberish, is actually a language that you don't understand. Isso era mesmo que do porquê. Isso só right here. Okay, because you know, solar plex, you have a hernia. If you have a hernia, do some deep inner work and see if that hernia does not release. Because it's your solar plex. So much it's got lies in there, denial in there, dishonesty in there. So it's twisting on itself. That's where the chakras, the seven seals, it's just like, what would the seven horns be? I don't believe it represents actual horns. I think it's like horns of within the brain. Or things it says it there. It said how calm Jesus, Yeshua, Krishna, size, like whoever you look to this time, okay? We're balancing their chakras, their sensors. So it was giving their godlike gifts because we are made in the image of God. But some will understand part of it that we're made in the image of God. What image do you think you're made in? Yeah, right now I'm connected at the brain. Oh, right around the eyes. Never tell your partner they're an idiot. That's so emotional. Kind of super. Totally mixed up. What everybody is watching. You should look at it. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, you look like, I always look like, holy shit, man. Experience what I experienced. Holy shit, man. I probably got makeup all down my eyes, but it's part of the healing process. That's why I always encourage people, go watch, go do a video of yourself because it actually, in many ways, it works a lot better than a therapist. Because you go, you're your own therapist, because then you get to hear yourself because you go back and watch yourself. And then, in spirit, whoever it is that you're expressing things to, their spirit actually sees it and hears it. Those points of view. Yeah, I can feel that. It's like two separate, two, two versions of itself and over itself, over itself. It's like if you were in a relationship and separating, it's that part of it's singing, please stay with me. But the one before that was totally different. This one here, it's like, it's like you're all I need, but it's that part of you've never experienced life. You feel to experience life because it's not just one person, not needing somebody as it is wanting to be with somebody. And sometimes people just want to spread their wings. It's not about not being in a relationship. You just want to be able to spread your wings and have that person with you that can you both can help one another spread your wings. Because you both have the same, you want the same thing for your inner world and for your exterior world. And I got that feeling through my body. And it's that part of somebody feeling rejected in a sense. But it's that part of you may have already explored the world and experienced the world in life. But it's that part of seeing that maybe that other person hasn't and they want to. So if you don't want to and they want to, then that's going to create a problem. That's why your person will come when it's meant to come and it will just fit together. Not saying that like just gonna it's life may not be easy, but the relationship will be a lot easier because you'll be going through it together. That's what it's supposed to be. You're working with one another, and when you learn to work with yourself, that's when you will learn how to work with one another. it's hibiscus tea. I think it's hibiscus rose something. I like spicy teas too. Spicy teas are good for detoxing. And immune system. Every so often I'm going up anywhere where I just drink tea and use some hot coffee. I like flavored teas. I'm moving energy. Every time you say, "What is she doing?" It's like, yeah, she's silent. You said I should be keeping up with that. That's good. Like when you get in tune with your body, you can actually just move your fingertips and move your gas. Like I just got in my mind. When you're, yeah, when you're in a tub and you do your front bowls. But it does, it actually, it works. That's the part of your meditate. Because when you're meditating, you're moving your energy, you're moving your chakra system, which is good. It's like, oh shit. Yeah, it's like my body's just like shifting right now. It's like, that's what we need to do. If our bodies are out of alignment, we can come in an alignment, or we can come in all contorted. And the ones that come in contorted are the ones that have a lot of difficulty because they're learning to be able to heal themselves. Use frequencies for people who they feel it's like they have a what people call I don't want to say mental retardation, but it's a stunting in the mental capacity because it's overwhelmed by spirits of the spiritual aspect of itself. Yeah, they develop their own systems. Etana kian asikareyu. Kunon hahena kaisia. Yeah, I know that's it was a whole lot of nonsense. Interference. Right now I have one of those round spotlight things for with the sensor out for when you're doing your videos and what have you. And I'm looking through the center of it, and down the center of it is an image of a whole bunch of planters and trees and soil. But it actually keeps you focused on thought. You sit, and that's when you're sitting alone, going, in the head, I connect it with the music, to connect with the body, to move the energies within its own cells. Makes it breathe, expansion. Move right there. Yeah, it was like just release. And an attack. So, kila to put it yesterday. Spirit, spirit. Kila to put it. When people throw attacks at people, it's like, what's going through your mind? Seriously. And whether you like me or not, I really don't give two shits. It still gives you no reason to be throwing shit at me. And do you think I don't know that I look like a really lady of flesh? Oh yeah. But I also know that there's people that understand what it is they're witnessing and experiencing. It's just some are still closed-minded because somebody else got to tell you how to tie your shoes. Somebody else got to tell you how to wipe your ass or wash your hands. It's like people scream about sovereignty, but remain a puppet. Sovereignty means that the puppet master's got to get its hand out your ass. I just got like going. I just got visualization of the hand up the puppet's ass. Shall I answer it? Yeah, I wasn't talking about the string puppets. I was talking about the hand up the ass puppets. Yeah. Now I know, like, well, I've known all along, spirit will bring me on when I need to be on, give the information I need to give to you. So, maybe maybe people think that I speak in riddles, but if you actually listen to what I'm saying, you'll realize. You'll realize that what you've been taught is untrue and manipulated. Half truth, half manipulated lies. So Trump, are you writing the script and you're getting pissed off because it's going on course? Apparently it does piss. Yep, now it's just sitting with it. See, it's like, warm up like spice trips. Odin and Loki. I know who. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes you have things, you get them from people, and when they leave, if there's an upset, you tend to give the stuff away because you don't have that meaning. There's a goal I had, somebody given to me at a Christmas time years back. I kept it because, you know, I don't put any significance to it, and my name's on it. And at that time, like, there wasn't a lot of stuff with my name on it, but holy shit, there's even cars like spelled the same. So, body products. There's even a bag of chips, which is cool because it's of the earth. It means Earth Mother, Mother Earth. And boy, oh boy, can I feel Mother Earth. And all the babies. Humans everywhere. Let me burn a flame and say, yeah, he watched me disintegrate and die. Right there, that was like, it was like there's two, like I said. It's like they're sorting things out and I put it through music. Sicuramente piano, ecco pure sì, cioè sicuramente information going on. Disconnected. Yeah, now that it's all coming in, all all the negative songs. So it's like switching back and forth. It's almost like a shit singing match. Gerçekten oynuyor. So I had so you know we're all psychic and we're all magical. Oh, that feels good in the sun. Si crevo scelto noi. Oh, that was weird. I thought it was. That wasn't how I thought I was moving this one. Yep, matches. Good. Oh shit, it's vibrating. And that is an end to the class. If you can't tolerate yourself, how do you expect to tolerate someone else? Holy fudge, man. Really? Move it. That's what my sister mocks because she don't understand. Well, come on. Like a, I just got the feeling I'll pop you in the nose. It's like two siblings. Did you ever see the movie? Bruce on my or not Bruce on like yes, Bruce on my lady. When he when he does the guy in the second movie, Evan, he makes him speak funny because he acts like he does like he's God because God gives him God's gifts. Now I understand. It was like, yeah, right. Like, well, you yourself. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Whoever said you look ridiculous is sounding not awful lot like what my sister would say, but I'm sure I see you. Well, you know, you're so you're duking it out, man. Holy shit. You act like two little children. This song, I got dreams in my head and they won't go. I got spirits in my head and they won't go. We'll fucking look at them and, you know, ask yourself what it wants. Because if you want, you're trying to feel it. So we keep saying, what is it? Yes, it is good. It's good. You shouldn't care. You can do it too. Just put your brain together. Get your left and right side working at the same time. Feels good too. At one point, I was doing this. I was going like this, or bending over and going like this. And just talking my body because it felt good. Like it was just like releasing the energy, stagnant energy. So, Mr. Philophagus or whatever. Sniffleupagus. What is Sesame Street? Yeah, I know what they say about Sesame Street. Okay. But you grew up on it. So, with that being said, I'm sending you much love, light, many blessings, whatever. Pues, ¿qué hay? Like, just keep going. No, that's all. Yeah, stop being so sensitive. No, not drunk. I'm actually like on spirit. That's, you know, yeah, 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 sure, attitude. I said that. It's like I'm saying, like, heart with attitude, but I have a good attitude. I may come off as a bitch or an asshole or something sometimes, but you know, that seems to be Spirit's tactics because it's to shake you. It's not to be nice. It's to shake you. Yeah, that works too. That feels good. Get your body going. Might feel like you look ridiculous, but you know, if it helps your body feel good, would you not rather do it? It's like, seriously, you had a temper tantrum. Super spirit, and that spirit, and I was who I'm talking to. Well, there's nothing wrong with having yourself a pet rock. Keep it grounded. Or get yourself some selenite. Yeah, well, some people get out and walk in the grass. I actually went out in the wintertime and walked in the snow for a week. It actually felt good, surprisingly. Yeah, I'm still me, but I know that like things have switched. It's like so right now the mind is having a release. You can tell when all your chakras and everything is open at the same time and balanced. Because you get that it's like everything you hear like this off kilter. And then when it comes up and aligns, it all aligns together. Kushaka Mesika Mokotubu Serea Ikarato. Doesn't have humor. Così perché come se solo no? Pure oh my, when are you gonna be over your temper tantrum, dude? Well, it's like you're just sitting here, everything's expanding right now. There's a lot of release. You actually are able to breathe better than everything. It just feels like it's expanded. You don't like when you experience that, it takes away your pain. It's its own, and you're producing your own pain. Well, I'm gonna leave it there for this. I hope this helped. Even just wanting, and I'm done. what I said I was doing as well. A lot of people when they help share rewards. Sometimes it's like I don't understand how people say that they're going to help somebody and then they end up helping them. That's when you set boundaries. But it's like you look at it, and sometimes it's not that it's about a situation where you have to set boundaries. It's about something that you need to actually confront. Not in an aggressive way, but you need to confront it and talk sense, logic, and reason, because that's how some people that like, that's how some people live. It's like if people say it's a moral code. Well, where's the morals in it? Because if you're not doing it, then you're not being very moral, are you? Don't take your half, leave somebody else with the garbage to keep because you took all the good stuff. Because for some reason, the spirit brought me in this what I'm talking about now. See, when I was doing the house in here and I looked out of the backyard, I was there just saying, oh my gosh, when I was doing the painting stuff, I was screaming and bawling and cursing and swearing. And I was going to cut my arm off because I was so tired of trying to get all done. This part here, yellow and green, oh my gosh. I went through blue on the walls and yellow on the trim. Then I went from blue and yellow to yellow walls and red trim, and oh my, what an awful sight. It looked like freaking McDonald's. So, like, I got the green out and, you know, man, was it a, oh man, that orange and yellow, that was angry. It's like, holy shit, man. Like, get it off, get it off, get it off. And I don't think I could get it off fast enough. But I painted my ceiling yellow too, so. But what I see over here when I was doing it was like a bunch of flowers and stuff around, and people were like in the pond, somewhere in the pool, and kids were running around the yard. Wasn't because it was a campground or anything like that, but it was the vision. I know I see it for like, I know what I see for it. It's just getting it there. I see its potential, and I see its good use. It's funny, some women say that the petting zoo there, it's like, no, I don't want a petting zoo, and the reason why I don't want a petting zoo is because I don't wanna cage the animals. And, right here, I I wouldn't wanna put animals like that because the space is not it's not enough room. No, I heard we should put it somewhere else. I'd have animals, but I wouldn't do it as a petting zoo. If I did that, it would be a retreat type thing for healing, and animals would be used as therapeutic. I mean, they wouldn't be used. I'm sure would help. I don't know if I could clean up anymore. Not because I'm stuck up or anything, but going through the burns at the exhibitions and stuff like that. When I was younger, we were at the exhibition and everything was cold and we're in the barns and stand there and I moved just in time because the cow shit. And when it shit, so I moved into line or the cow would shit on me. And that would have been gruesome. Like, yeah, I gotta get the recipe because I was watching something and it said like thing you can do like with your cats if they're eating poop or some kind of thing you can do that'll stop them from eating it. It's because there's something missing in their belly, in their something they're missing something in their diet, their digestive system, stuff like that. It's not good for birds. My dog Jewel, she used to do that. She'd go and she'd eat food. We didn't know. And and then later we thought that maybe it was just telling us that she had cancer. So they tell us through their behaviors. When my other, like, he was the oldest, but he was the newest addition to the family. When we got him euthanized with sleep, he had no realize he had no teeth, like he wasn't. And I was sitting there, and I was holding him. So I felt him go, and then my other dog was the last one here a couple of years ago. We had to have him put sleep because, well, he was 17, and he wasn't willing to see the world. He just couldn't move. He was peeing on himself. And my ex-husband, he didn't want to say goodbye. He just really wanted. So as he was like, he kept trying to say, no, he's okay. Like, he's going. Like, no, he's telling you you have to let him go. And like for a few, like for about a week, I was trying to do energy healing on my dog, and it was working, but it wasn't enough. He was just, I couldn't, because he told me, you got to get him here. He told me my dog, like, people don't believe it, but it's different things. Although even spirits from the past, versions of someone, they'll come in the form of an animal, and this one did, because out of purpose, to show love, kindness, and understanding, and see how my ex-husband, or how I would be, my son would be. It's like if you look back at Alexander the Great, right? Things that he did. Some will say he did horrible things. And others would say that he did great things. Oh, shit. Anyway. Well, I am going to leave it here now because c'est la vie de personne and never bend your head, always hold it high. Look the world straight in the face, which, I would think I'll say, look the world straight in the eye. Esa era una gran- In calm water, every ship has a good captain. Well, yeah, it goes with that one. Watch this. In calm water, every ship has a good captain. He that will not sail until all danger passes will never leave the port. 4444, as I said that. With that being said, much love, by many blessings will support me, very good health to anyone and everyone wants and willing to receive and accept. Which all be painful, will support you. Be yourself, be your authentic self. Be true to yourself, be true to others, kind to yourself and others, and know that you have more strength than you can comprehend. You got this. You can do it. It just takes a little. You are.